7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
The Savachi syndrome, I'm telling you, I'm like, well, holy shit, that was crazy. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show presented by TLR Coatings. Tonight we are wrapping up the Minneapolis round of Supercross here, our last Triple Crown race. I'm flying solo in studio here. Justin's a little bit under the weather this week. I've been talking to him a little bit so I can share a couple of his insights. But basically, I'm by myself, so this show will probably be shorter than normal. Probably be quicker than normal, and obviously there isn't going to be as much banter as normal. But that's okay. We're still here. We're doing it. We're reporting the race. That's what we're here for. So let's get started with the boring, mundane stuff. Number one, please subscribe if you haven't already. Get your friends to subscribe. We are looking for as many subscribers on this channel as we can get. And obviously, we're trying to bring you guys weekly content on the races, about the races, etc. So if you would, smash that subscribe button and that like button down there would be awesome. Make sure to leave us a comment. I always go through, comment back on every one that I can or that I see. Sometimes it takes me a few days, so bear with me. But I don't just sit on YouTube and make comments. So also make sure to follow us on Facebook at the Moto Aftermath Show. And I do, well, usually it's just me. Sometimes Justin's here. It just depends. Thursday, Friday-ish show. It's sometime late in the week, previewing the upcoming race. And so, like I said, I try to drop that either late Thursday, early Friday. It's usually a short 5-minute show of me going over any news and notes from the week, as well as talking about what I think the track's going to be like from the track map videos that we get. If you want to, you can follow me on Instagram. I post race pictures, fantasy pics, all that kind of stuff from when I'm out and about. You can also, if you do want to support the channel with some monetary support, Amazon, there will be links in the description below, and all you got to do is click one of those links and page will pull up. You go anywhere on Amazon, buy anything you want. We get a small slice of that. Really helps us out. You can also support us on Patreon. Once again, thanks to Adam. Adam's our first Patreon patron, and so the link will be in the description down below for that. Or one last thing, if you want to support us, Teespring, we do have a couple t-shirt designs. I just put a new one out this week, and I will link that in the description down below also. So let's move on to the Minneapolis round here. Again, our last Triple Crown race, and I think finally we have the Triple Crowns figured out. I think the riders have figured it out. I think that Feld has kind of figured it out. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still tweaks they can make. I still think they need a filler class to fill in. You know, say something like a super mini class, or another thought I've had would be like Alta electric bike class for entry level for, you know, the 250, the lower end 250 guys, where they can actually like, oh god, done. Where they can actually all have equal bikes and go out and race. Just a 2-moto format. But again, work in progress, I'm sure. But I mean, as far as the Triple Crown format goes, going into the last race in both races, the 450s, the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The top 5 guys were separated by 3 points. So you basically have 5 guys that, 5 guys that could all have won the overall in the 450 class. As far as the 250 class goes, 1, 2, 3. The top 4 were separated by 5 points. So again, you have 4 dudes that could all possibly win the overall for the race. And I think that makes it exciting. I know it does make it exciting for me. Going into that last race, I was like, wow, you don't know who's going to win, basically, because anything can happen in any of these, as we've seen. And both classes were really close in the top 5. Now, as far as the track goes, they keep trying these stupid split lanes. Stop it. Unless you know that it will work. Prime example, San Diego. The inside-outside, it worked. But if you don't know that it's going to work, or you can't figure out how to make them consistently work, quit doing it, because all it does is create a goat trail. Now, last night they did have one of the sections, the inside was good, like the first two mains, and then the final mains, the outside was good. But they also made the inside table like a roller, I guess. I don't know. I don't care for the split lanes most of the time, because they can't figure out a consistent way to make it work where both of them are good. And the other big thing with the track that I saw was that the whoops were really, really big, and they didn't break down really until the third mains. And you could tell because guys were not jumping them. They were skimming them the whole time. Now, other than that, the track was pretty much, it was a little one line. There wasn't a lot of areas for passing. The whoops were a big area for passing, but I don't know. I didn't really care for the track. It was, like I said, it was super hard packed too. Like, it didn't break down a lot. So it was almost eerily like West Coast reminiscent. But what are you gonna do? So that was my thoughts on the track, thoughts on the Triple Crown. Let's get into the racing action. Let's get to these 450s. Okay, so getting into 450s, basically what I'm going to do, since I don't have anyone to bounce thoughts or ideas off of or argue with, I'm just going to kind of give a rundown of the three mains and kind of give some overall thoughts of how I thought the night went. So in the 450s here, first main, you have Tomac, gets a hole shot, runs away, wins. Started the night super duper intense, and his intensity kind of waned as the night went, but I think that also had something to do with he knew where he had to finish in that final main to get the overall win. Now, you keep hearing this, Anderson wants to race Tomac straight up just to prove that he's faster. However, in that race, that first race, they get a 1-2 start, and there's no one around them. They're both obviously very intense because, heck, it's the first race. No one's gotten any points yet, and Tomac wins fairly handily. Didn't put a huge gap, only a couple seconds, but I think kind of proved the point a little bit. I don't know. I mean, obviously there's going to be some Anderson people out there that, you know, that didn't prove anything, but I feel like it kind of proved the point. And then your top three for that race were Tomac, Anderson, Barcia. Barcia's return, had a good night, ended up 5th overall, so not a bad way to come back to racing, and was battling up in the top 5 all night consistently. So main number 2, gate drops, Brayton right up front on the start, ends up getting the lead and leads the first 11 minutes of the race before he gets hunted down by Marv. Marv was really, really lethargic the first race. Second race comes out, lots of intensity, and ends up getting the win for the second main. Now, in the second main, we had a little bit of controversy. We had Anderson in second, right behind Brayton. Goes to make a move on Brayton, and basically in a 90-degree corner to the right is going left. Like, what is he doing? I don't, this is the kind of stuff Jason Anderson does that I just go, why are you doing that? Like, Brayton's a super nice dude, so why are you trying to, like, take him out? And then why are you doing that anyway? You have a 30-some point lead. And then after he did that and got all squirrely, he was back by Baggett and actually ended up kind of taking Baggett really wide in a corner to the point that I'm going, what are you doing? Someone like Baggett doesn't care if you win the title or not. He literally, if he gets a shot, will put you over the berm because he does not like you. So why are you making enemies with these people? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand. But you know, it's just like the mystery wrapped in a riddle of someone who's going to win the title, but what the hell are you doing? And then at the end of the race, he ends up getting penalized for apparently going off the track and coming back on too quick, which I don't understand that either. Like, the AMA, I feel like really jacked that up. I don't understand the AMA period because they're not consistent, so that blows my mind also. But that's a whole nother story. We could do a whole show on that. But basically what happened was he missed a corner, went off the track, lost 4 spots riding on the edge of the track, came back in a very safe, manageable location, and they still docked him in other positions. So AMA, I don't agree with that. I don't think that was a proper call, unless that wasn't what you were talking about. If they docked him a position for him basically trying to go left in a right-hand corner to take Brayton out or whatever, I'll give you that. Okay, fine. But if it was for what they were talking about where he went off the track and came back on, just another debacle with the AMA of like, what? I can't even do it. I can't even. I don't understand the AMA. I don't understand their rules. I don't understand the inconsistency. I don't understand. You want to be this professional, multi-million-dollar organization. Whatever. Anyway, finishing results for the second main. Marv wins, Brayton second, and Pike gets a third. So here we are. Look at the parity we're getting out of these Triple Crown races. That is 6 different people on the podium in 2 races. We didn't even have any repeats in the first 2 mains. That's wonderful. When you hear someone like Mathis or JT or anybody say, hey, give me 17 rounds of this, I'm in. I'm in. The parity is amazing. The drama is amazing. The unknowing of what's going to happen is amazing at these Triple Crown races, especially now that these guys have figured this out. And then you go into the third main. Now, going into the third main, you have Tomac's leading the overall with 5 points. Brayton's in second with 6th. Mars in third with 8 points. Pike's got 8th. And Anderson's got 8th. So you have the first 2 guys are separated by a point. And then 2 points later, you have the other 3 guys in the top 5. So the top 5 guys are all separated by 3 points. Any of these guys can win this. Any of these guys. And the last race was actually probably about the most boring out of the whole night. Basically, Anderson made a couple quick moves, gets in the lead, and checks out. Tomac ends up, good start, like second, falls back to 4th, and then works his way back to 3rd, and ends up taking 3rd in the race and getting the overall. And then, okay, so this was kind of weird to me. So this whole Triple Crown thing really wasn't supposed to be a thing. As far as everyone knew, it was just a name they kind of threw on it because it was a 3-race format, whatever. Then they get done, and Tomac gets a Triple Crown trophy. Oh, okay. And going into the night, they were like, oh, Tomac and Anderson are tied with 47 points going into this race tonight. Who will be the Triple Crown champ? I didn't know there was such thing as a Triple Crown champ, to be really honest with you. It was weird. But then the overalls for the night, Tomac obviously won with 8 points. Anderson was second with 9 points. Marv was third with 10 points. Brayton 4th with 11 points. And Barsha rounded out the top 5 with 14 points. I don't know about you, but that's 6 points in a 3-moto format separating the top 5 dudes. That's pretty good. That's parity, drama, the unknown. I like it. Overall, I like it. Overall, I thought it was a pretty interesting night of racing. The 450s were definitely a little bit more mundane than the 250s. And a couple more shout-outs in the 450s. Pike, I thought, rode great all night until that third main when he crashed. Obviously, it's cool that Brayton is up there battling. This stuff just has his name written all over it. And, yeah, I think that was it as far as the 450s went. I think Bowers ended up like 7th overall, which is another good finish for him. So he's still making improvements, and hopefully Kawasaki does something so that when Grant comes back, he can still be on that bike or be on a fairly heavily Kawasaki-backed bike. But who knows? That's neither here nor there. So that's pretty much all the thoughts I had on the 450 race. So now let's get into the 250 race, which was also packed with drama. Okay, 250 time. Again, another, action-packed race. This Triple Crown just makes the format so much better. So let's jump into my thoughts here about the 3 mains. So first main, Osborne, bad start, buried, works his way up to 4th. Forkner, really good start, and just kind of checks out. And when Forkner checked out and took the win, I kind of thought, oh, here we go. Like, Forkner could go 3 for 3 tonight. Like, he looks super good, super smooth. this could be his night to really, really shine and then really tighten up the points, because I think Osborne only had like 7 on him going into last night, so then we could have been down to 4. And the first main, yeah, that pretty much was it for the first main. There wasn't a lot of action in that main per se. And Forkner, Smith, Martin, your podium guys there, which again, Martin, here we go. All of a sudden, where is Jeremy Martin getting these Supercross skills? Then you go into the second main, and this is when things start to get interesting. Forkner, another good start, right up in the top 5, and jumps left a little bit, lands on a tough block, goes down. Okay, no problem. However, he then proceeds to crash 4 more times, and this is where the time bomb just starts going off. Forkner could not pull it together. Like I said, lots of stupid little tip overs in that race, 4 times. Osborne, decent start, was right next to Forkner actually when he went down the first time. Ends up making a couple moves, gets the lead, and wins. So now the second main, outside of Forkner crashing, again, not a ton of action. Osborne, Smith, Martin. So Smith and Martin, consistent second, third place finishes, and that leads us into the third main. Now going into the third main, you have Smith has 4 points for the overall. Osborne has 5. Martin has 6. Cantrell has 9. So you have your top 4 are separated by less than 5 points. And to be real honest, Cantrell was like the quiet, sneaky good that who knew that he was even in the top 5. Weird, right? But again, especially of the top 3, any one of them can win it. So you go out and Smith has a crash. I believe where did he crash at? Coming out of the whoops, I believe it was. Had a little issue. Got a little huckabuck coming out of the whoops. Martin makes a pass, gets by him. I lied. Smith did not crash coming out of the whoops. Smith got a huckabuck. Martin gets by coming out of the whoops. Osborne, right in tow, says, okay, I'm going to go too. You have coming out of that right-hander after the second set of whoops. Smith is all over the place. Ends up bumping into Osborne. They go into the first corner. Smith pushes it in way, way deep on him. Sorry. Ends up crashing, high-siding, going into the first corner. And that was pretty much all she wrote on Smith. So now you have Osborne in tow to Martin. But Martin, God, he is... For some reason, all of a sudden, he decided he can ride Supercross. That Tomac compound is doing him some very, very good pointers, apparently. And from what I understand, him and Tomac have been riding outdoors, and he has been giving Tomac a lot of what he wants to handle on his 250F. Then you have Forkner in the whoops, in 4th place, gets a little huckabuck going, misses a whoop with the front wheel, right hand comes off the bar, flips over, bike comes over on him. Word on the street is broken collarbone, but I'm not sure. I haven't read anything. That's just what I've heard so far. He's out for the night. So you kind of feel for the kid. He was looking really, really good, and you thought, here he goes, coming out in his second year, could possibly win the title, but this is pretty much what happens. These kids have speed, but they can't control it. And his big problem, and Justin would back me up on this, is he needs to learn when to sprint and when to just back it down and take the points. And he hasn't quite figured that out yet, and that's an issue with kids. But he's got speed, so we can work with speed. Now, another point Justin would like to make is he told everyone that Jeremy Martin was going to do awesome in Supercross, blah, 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 yada, 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 whatever, whatever. Which I'll give you, Jeremy Martin is looking very, very good. However, 12 points back here, I mean, to second place. This, with barring anything catastrophic happening next week to Osborne, you're probably looking at Osborne's going to go into Vegas with at least a 10-ish point lead, maybe 9, 10, somewhere in there. So should be pretty okay, but always could be interesting. You never know. And then your overall top 3, Martin wins the overall at the race, Zach's second, and Smith is third. Smith did come back to, I think, 3rd or 4th on the race. So again, it was just a night of, you didn't really know what was going to happen in either class, and I think that the format makes the racing better. So, a couple more shout outs in the 250s here before we wrap this up. Shout out to Josh Osby, went, I believe, 969 for 6th overall, which is his best finish ever. So good job, Josh. He's pretty close to me as far as like geographically. He's within a couple hours down in Indiana. And then Hartenrath, again, another solid race, 7th overall. You know, good job on that kid. Hopefully he gets picked up by a ride next year. I mean, he's on the what is it, Traders team, I think. Traders, or what's the other one? Shoot, I can't think of the other Yamaha team. Anyway, but maybe he'll get his way onto a factory team next year. Have to wait and see. He's definitely got the skills to pay the bills as far as dirt bike riding goes. So again, just a couple shout outs to those guys. Now moving forward, we're going into Foxborough next week. Day race, Northeast. Could be a snow race, who knows? I mean, we're here in Michigan. We were getting freezing rain and snow today, which is way, way too late for that. We're, you know, mid-April here. This should be, we should be into basically, you know, 50, 60 degree weather. So I don't know what it's going to be like up there. Hopefully it's not a mudder. It's an afternoon race, so that'll help, but I don't know. Now, as far as who do I have winning, I mean, I think Smith, Martin, Osborne are your top 3. I don't think any of these other guys really have anything for them as far as East Coast guys go. Forkner's probably going to be out at this point unless I hear otherwise. So yeah, really with those 3, kind of toss a name in a hat and just see what happens. I mean, this is Smith's time of year where he is getting stronger. He's a late breaker for sure. But man, you've got Martin is on a tear, and if you go into Foxborough and it's really soft, deep, ruddy, everything, man, he could pull off another win. He could go 3 in a row here, which if he goes 3 in a row and he gets Zach in second, well, all of a sudden now, like I said, you're going 9 points going into Vegas for the final round. Could get interesting. As far as the 450s go for next weekend, I think it's hard to bet against Tomac at this point. Tomac is under, and they said it multiple times on the broadcast, he is going to win or die trying, basically. He has nothing else to do on the season. He's not in title contention, so why not win every race out? I mean, the big question is he going to have another 9, 10 race win season? He's got 7 right now. So if he wins Foxborough and Salt Lake, he'll have 9 with a race to go. I mean, that's got to be rough going back-to-back, you know, seasons where you win 7+ races and you don't win a title either one. That's just, oh, that would drive me insane. But luckily I don't have to deal with that. I just report on it. So thanks for listening to another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show presented by TLR Coatings. Again, we drop this every Tuesday, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell notification icon so that you guys get notified when a new episode does come out. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, like I said, for our preview videos, our short little 5 to 10 minute videos we do every Thursday evening, Friday-ish, to kind of cover previews and thoughts for the upcoming race weekend. Make sure follow me on Instagram. Click the Amazon links down below. Click the Patreon link. Go on there and donate some money. I'll send you some stuff. Go to Teespring, buy t-shirts. I see there's like 4 of you now that have t-shirts, which is awesome. I don't even have one yet. I need to order one. I've just been lazy. I don't know why. But anyway, another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show. Hopefully next week Justin will be back and not sick, because I need someone else to bounce ideas off of. But we will see everybody next week after Foxborough.